Well, like you said, this year's state of emergency because of this heat comes a lot more timely than last year's. Just as the thermostat starts to hit those triple digits, as you guys were telling us about, I can sure feel it here in Salem. It is hot, but just as those temperatures start to rise, we're seeing that heat declaration in place now. Of course, it comes as last year's heat declaration a lot later in the year after many had already died. That heat declaration last year, that emergency declaration, not coming till July 29th, well over a month after that original heat dome. Vicki Jones lost her husband of 44 years in last year's heat dome in Northeast Salem.
I thought I'd be the first one to go.
She tells me Donald, who was 67 years old, died in his upstairs man cave on June 28th.
Especially hot upstairs. My husband was being stubborn. He wanted to watch his cooking shows.
She says with nothing but fans to cool the home, the room reached 128 degrees that day.
It wasn't fair. My 5-year-old great-grandson, every time he comes home from school, he would say, "Is Grandpa back yet?" He didn't understand what was going on.
Vicki says she doesn't have internet and they didn't receive any information about the heat dome before it happened. She didn't know about 211. Vicki hadn't heard about today's heat wave emergency declaration and even needed some help finding the closest cooling shelter.
Anytime we owe taxes, they send a letter. Why don't they do that?
I took her question to the state of Oregon's Emergency Management Director, Andrew Phelps. Government sends information out when they want taxes or when they want money from her, but she's not getting any information that could be life-saving, that could have been life-saving for her husband. Is there a response to that?
Yeah, that's certainly frustrating. I know that we try to use traditional media. Obviously, you're doing a story on this. We use social media. We try to put information at the local level. They try to put information up at community centers.
Phelps tells me the 211 number can also help residents find resources to help them with air conditioning units if they qualify for assistance. And that emergency line now available 24/7. It was a change that was made after that emergency declaration last year. Now 24/7, so you can call 211 if you need any help. And for that emergency declaration, it does give counties a little more resources like staffing and generators if they need it. Live in Salem, Cristina Giardinelli, K2 News.
Christina, thank you. Portlanders downtown are using foil and cardboard to try and shield themselves from the sun. The brutal heat, we know, can be deadly. In this Northwest Portland low-income apartment complex, 2 people died due to the heat wave last June. The complex is operated by Home Forward, so we tried to figure out what changes have been made in the past year to protect those who call this home.
What has Home Forward done to try and keep you guys cool this time around?
Well, they have a community room they can leave open that has the air conditioning going, that you can hang out in there and watch TV, play games and whatnot. But, you know, your apartment, you're basically on your own.
These residents tell us Home Forward did offer AC units to people who got doctor's notes saying they needed them. However, some residents have yet to receive those units. We reached out to Home Forward and they released a statement that reads in part, across our portfolio, we have distributed and installed hundreds of portable air conditioner units. We have targeted outreach to sites that do not have cooling centers. And we have also assisted where residents bring their own portable units in compliance with Senate Bill 1536.
Excessive heat warnings and heat advisories will remain in effect until the end of the week. To help, Multnomah County has opened cooling centers and shelters. Several businesses are also opening their doors, including the Lloyd Center Mall.
For folks who don't have air conditioning, they may need a place to come and cool off during the day. And Lloyd Center has wonderfully opened their building until 10 o'clock tonight and every night through the severe heat. So people need a place to come, hang out, get a drink, and just stay cool. They can be here by the ice rink.
Several libraries will also extend their hours to serve as cooling centers. Anybody looking for overnight cooling shelters can head to the East Portland Community Center, Charles Jordan Community Center, and Portland Building and Sunrise Center. Other cooling options include public pools, splash pads, and misting stations. And you can find a complete list on where to cool off on our website at katu.com.
And school districts are also changing plans in response to the excessive heat out there. Just hours ago, in fact, Reynolds School District canceled their summer school for the rest of the week. They say they made that decision to prioritize safety.
We've canceled before. We had a snow day in April, and now we're having a heat day now. And so first and foremost is the safety of our students, of our staff, and our families.
Other schools to follow suit. David Douglas released students early this week, and Gresham Barlow let their kids out about noon today. We'll keep you updated on district changes as we learn more.
The Salvation Army is doing their part to help the community during the heat wave. Organizers across the metro area are handing out supplies to help people stay hydrated and safe. Today they handed out ice, bandanas, and cold drinks at their downtown Portland location on 2nd and Burnside.
The weather is brutal now. So we're stepping up our services and making sure that everybody is hydrated. We're passing out extra water, lemonade, and about every hour we'll have folks that'll walk the area and offer a beverage to people that are in the area, because it's going to be a tough next couple of days.
I'm sweating, I'm feeling like So I'm just really wanting that air conditioner.
Portlanders bracing for the unbearable heat, many still without air conditioning, and these triple-digit temperatures reminiscent of last June when we hit 116 degrees. The deadly heat took dozens of lives.
K2's Genevieve Rayom is live in Southwest Portland with the rest of the story. Genevieve, are Portlanders better prepared now?
Many are taking the past year to find AC units. We're here at Salmon Street Springs, where you can see a couple of kiddos taking advantage of the cool water on this very hot day. We had never seen heat like the heat dome last year, and it certainly left a scar.
Just ran 3 miles, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I shouldn't have. Yeah, it was a mistake.
It was low 90s when we met Todd Richards. A run in the sun made only mildly better by a dash through Salmon Street Springs. Last year during that heat dome, what were you doing? What were you experiencing?
I was very hot at home. I didn't have an air conditioning unit for my apartment.
Last summer, Todd was dousing his shirts in cold water to stay cool.
This year I managed to have a little bit of money, so I bought a cheap air conditioning unit.
Okay. And you got it just a month ago?
Yeah, planning ahead.
The planning is crucial and can be the difference between life and death. Multnomah County says lack of air conditioning was common amongst heat deaths last year. Just this past week, thanks to legislation that passed following the deadly summer, the Oregon Health Authority delivered hundreds of AC units to be put into homes of high-risk Oregonians.
It's unbearable.
Still, some are left with little. Al lives in affordable housing through Home Forward. He says he's been approved for a cooling unit, but it's yet to be installed.
I'm just really wanting that air conditioner.
Inside Bottle and Bottega downtown,
we have our AC on, so it's nice and cool inside.
Employees with no AC find themselves spending more time at work, painting a picture of relief.
We've had a couple last-minute people calling to see if they could come in for their birthday or date night, and yes, we are absolutely open.
This time, more Portlanders have gone the extra mile to prepare, while also learning the extra mileage can wait.
Just stay inside as much as possible. No more 3 mile runs.